So today I'm going to be talking about food and nutrition and how that affects your performance. So let's get upgraded. You really are what you eat. You may have heard that said a number of times, but the truth is this apple will become part of my body within a week or two. My body is going to break this down into its nutrient parts and use it to build new cells of my body. The food that we eat, the nutrition that we have, is really important to how we perform. You wouldn't take a Formula One racing car and put bad fuel in it, it's not going to run. And our bodies are exactly the same. What you eat becomes your brain, your muscles, your bones. Our bodies are literally the food that we have consumed over the last year or two. So that's why good nutrition is really important if you want to be a top performer. Athletes have always known this, but we tend not to think about this so much in terms of other areas of our lives, like brain power, being able to think and concentrate. But it really does make a difference. Evidence is showing that the food that we eat affects our performance in every aspect of our lives. The most important thing about nutrition is diversity. The more variety of things you eat, the better. Now personally, I try to limit the amount of carbs that I eat, keep the carbs low, eat more good fats, nuts, fruit, vegetables. I do eat meat, so I know some people don't, but I choose to do so. We know that our gut microbiome is heavily affected by the foods that we eat. Your gut microbiome produces lots of good substances that your body needs to thrive. And so having a good, healthy gut microbiome has a huge effect on not just our physical, but also our mental abilities. The key to good nutrition is basically lots of diversity in your diet. The more variety of foods you have, the better, and also a high fiber diet. So modern Western diets tend to be very lacking in fiber, and fiber is really great for our gut microbiome. So we know that what's not good for us is highly processed foods. These are highly man-made things. So natural things like this apple are quite good for us. So apples do contain carbohydrates, but they are wrapped up inside the fiber. So in order for my body to get to the carbohydrates in this apple, it has to break down the fiber, and that slows down the absorption. Highly processed foods are foods that are man-made, where all the constituent parts have been broken down. So they will often have added fiber. The problem with that is that the fiber and the carbs are separate. So because they're separate, the carbohydrates can go into your blood very quickly while your body's still breaking down the fiber. Whereas in a natural product like an apple, the carbohydrates are inside the fiber, wrapped up in them. And so your body has to break down the fiber to get at the carbohydrates, and that takes time, and that slows down the absorption and helps your body deal with the carbs that are going into it. That's the way our bodies were designed to work, is slow absorption of carbs, because your body normally, if you're eating natural products, will have to make an effort to break down the carbohydrates. So I'm not saying you shouldn't eat pizzas and burgers and processed foods. What you should probably do is limit the amount and substitute lots of healthy, fresh produce. If you're building something, you know that the quality of the materials that you use to build that thing will determine the quality of the end product. Whether that's a table that you're building out of wood, or a building or a skyscraper, you really want to use the best quality materials you can afford to build something to get the best quality end product. Our bodies are exactly the same. The raw materials that go into building our bodies is the food that we eat, and you want to get the best quality materials to build your body from. The performance of the end product, in this case your body and your brain, will be determined by the quality of the materials that you use to build it. And the easiest way to approach good nutrition is to get as diverse a range of foods as you can. Herbs and spices are great. Herbs and spices add flavour to your food, but they're also very rich in polyphenols and flavonoids and other substances that really help contribute to a healthy, fit body and mind. So what I'm really saying is experiment with your food. Try to eat lots of different types of food, preferably stuff that is made in a kitchen out of ingredients that you recognise. One of the top tips for recognising highly processed food is if you look at the packet and there's a huge long list of ingredients, that's probably not very natural. But also if there are ingredients in there that you don't recognise, things that wouldn't be in your mum's kitchen, for example. Those types of food are not as healthy for us, and we know that they can actually have adverse effects on our gut and our microbiome and our bodies. Why are they so prevalent? Well, highly processed foods are cheap and easy to manufacture, and therefore highly profitable for food companies. You need to remember that food companies are in the business of making money, not necessarily looking after your health. So when I'm talking about eating a diverse range of foods, I'm also talking about different varieties. So if you like cheese, eat different types of cheese. I'm not saying just eat cheese, but if you like fruit, eat lots of different types of fruit, eat lots of nuts and berries. Nuts and berries are particularly good for you. Usually the best food you can eat is the food that you prepare yourself. Obviously this does take some time and effort, but you can always batch cook stuff when you've got some time and then freeze that and use it during the week, or put some in the fridge and use it during the week. I really want to take the time to thank those people that subscribe to this channel, like the videos or share videos with friends. That really helps out. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So remember, I'm Leslie and you've been upgraded.